go to Shelby in Dallas, Texas. Hey, Shelby, what's going on?
Hey, how are you guys doing today?
Outstanding. How are you?
Doing well.
Very cool.
And
so what's up?
My question is about how to teach our kids the value of money. A little background on us. My husband and I are in our mid-30s. We've got 3 kids under 4, so we're starting young. Debt-free other than our home.
Wow, way to
We'll
go.
be paid off in a couple of years. And thanks to Dave and Chris, we are everyday millionaires working on being multimillionaires.
Wow, very cool. Congratulations, guys.
We've done, thank you all. We've done most of this journey without our kids seeing it. So I kind of have a 2-part question. First of all, how do we teach them a foundation of gratitude and appreciation, starting with toys and birthday gifts and vacations now, and then later on, we're blessed in a position to pay for cars in college. And then kind of part 2 of that is how open are we with our finances, our salaries, our budget meetings, and things like that?
Well, take on the easiest one first. That's the second part of that question. I'd be open to the point if they don't need to know salary and stuff like that, because kids can't be trusted with that information. They'll go to school and they just think they're talking to their friend. They're like, "Hey, my dad makes this much." So I would not reveal how much you all make, but as far as having your budget meetings in front of them. They see you guys at the kitchen table or wherever your spot is. Talk to them about line items and what the budget is made of. So instructing through transparency, I think that's a good place right there. I'd be very open about budget and how you don't do debt and all that kind of stuff. I just wouldn't share how much you all make.
I actually, Shelby, I asked Dave that question.
Oh, you did?
Off air, how do I walk? Like, I always want my kids involved in these conversations. I want my son to see these numbers, and that's exact same wisdom there, right? Which, I don't tell the kids our salary, but I want them to know, here's how much that light bill in Dallas, Texas costs. It's expensive, right?
Oh, yeah.
I want them to know
openly
those
gripe
things.
when I have to go into the emergency fund and fix the car. I want them to hear that.
That's right.
I'm like, oh, man.
So, hey, Shelby, one thing that I love, and I may be a slightly sadistic parent, I love it when we're going to do our budget meeting, and I tell my son, hey, you got to come sit at the table and listen. And he goes, I kind of love that, right? And I don't do it every time.
What age do you start at that?
I don't.
I think ours are really too little.
Yeah, I mean, 1, 2, and 4 is too little, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what you want to do is think of the words you use. Think of they're picking up your body. They're absorbing you. They're picking up your body language. And so if every month y'all sit down to do a budget and y'all are yelling and fighting and you're like rolling your eyes at each other, your kids will understand that money is a thing to avoid. It causes relational conflict. If it is not silly and absurd, but if y'all say, hey, we're going to have our budget meeting, and you say those words out loud, and y'all sit down at a table, and y'all are prepared, and you're planning, and the kids are playing on the floor below you, they begin to absorb that this is a natural rhythm of a family. This is what people do every month. They plan, and I would announce it to your kids. This is budget meeting time, and so y'all are going to play on the floor while mom and dad talk about how much money we made, how much things cost, how much we're going to save, how much we're going to give, and you just begin to teach them that language, and it doesn't become the birds and the bees talk is much better when it is a part of your daily interactions with your kids and not when it's some weird event. They remember the event, right?
Ugh, I'm uncomfortable already thinking about it. I've had to do it 3 times. Shelby, I'd say this. I think the 5-year-old, I think once that 4-year-old becomes a 5-year-old, kindergarten age, there's no magic age here. This isn't a rule. But I think you could start the conversation about chores.
Absolutely.
And start paying them $1 a week or $2 a week or whatever.
That's right.
They're going to begin to see a really natural relationship with money. When I put forth effort, in other words, work, I get compensated. And that's a wonderful little tool before they ever understand budgets is just, hey, here's the deal. And I think we still sell them here at Ramsey Solutions, but we have them. We're selling them 3 or 4 years ago at least, but my kids still have the
piggy banks.
The piggy banks that we sell at Ramsey Solutions with the little red rubber tops and it's spin and it's save. And here's the deal. Like they've learned to tithe. And they kind of get this whole conversation just really natural, as John said. So I think from that standpoint, showing them the value of work and making them earn stuff, I think is huge. I mean, to this day, Josie is 12, and I don't know if your daughter's into this, little Josephine, but these fidget things. there's all kinds of these little poppets, and they're futzing around on these things, and they're really popular with 6th grade girls apparently. And so she wanted to buy several, and I was like, babe, I'm not going to keep buying. You've got 5. You want 15. Go buy them. So you know what? She showed up the other night, and she said, hey, Mom, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And Josie's motivated. And I told her, I said, I'm proud of you. She created a checklist for a week, and she cut a deal with us. We'll pay you this much. I'm happy to do that.
That's fantastic. So, Shelby, I'm getting into Ken's territory here, but here's a cool thing that happens when you start teaching kids about work and monetary rewards. It's a great time to talk about their role in the family, their purpose, what they contribute. They begin to learn deep in their soul, this family does not run without me. I'm a part of this thing. And so what we did with our kids is we broke up. Here's a few jobs that we do in our house that you don't get paid for. It's part of
That's right.
All of us are together on this. And then, man, you got to go get on the riding mower and mow. I'm going to pay you for that because that stinks. It's hot.
But I'm not
it's messy.
paying you to clean up your room.
No, that's a part of being a human being inside the Deloney house, right?
Yeah.
And so one other thing, you talked about gratitude. My wife is the one that really drove this home, teaching our kids. When they get gifts, they don't play with them until there is a thank you card written. And
that's good.
They go through an entire dramatic process, and the writing is awful. Sometimes it looks like it was written with somebody's feet, right? It's not great. It's about the exercise. And
it's the thought that counts and the correlation it makes.
Right.
Yep.
And another thing that we do, this is my wife, they created bags of food that stay in the car that we can pass out when folks are on the side of the road and they need money or help. And here's what we're trying to do. We're trying to teach our kids that the life they are growing up in is not everybody's life. Yeah. In fact, it's very few people's life. And you got to walk through life with your eyes wide open for people you can serve and you can help and be a part of. It's about gratitude.
So your wife and my wife, dude, we really outmarried ourselves. There's no question about it. 2 things that I'll share with you that Stacy did, Shelby, and we learned this from a marriage mentor, a couple that mentored us early on, and they did this with their kids. We stopped doing this, by the way, when the kids got to 6th grade because of the type of parties. But for each of our 3 kids' birthday parties, starting at the age of 3, we would invite their friends over, and their present, the kids' present was a really awesome party. And we told all the parents, don't send gifts with your kid. They were like, what? We said, don't send gifts. You come and you bring food, you bring clothing, you bring a toy. And so all 3 Coleman kids, their birthday party was an awesome bounce house or some cool experience. That was the gift. They didn't get toys from us. Yep. They didn't get toys from their friends. Because in today's world, you do a birthday party for your 5-year-old, it's like Christmas.
Like the Toys R Us truck
15
backs
kids
up.
show up, and every parent's trying to outdo the other parent. And so we learned this. So what we said was, and people, it took them a while. A couple people tried to sneak a gift, and we went, please take it back. and so each of our 3 kids, Shelby, would then take everything that was brought, and they would take it to a children's hospital if it was toys. They'd take it to a food shelter if it was food. That was really, really a beautiful thing. And our kids learned that the party, the relationships, the friends, that was your gift.
That's the magic, right?
Not a toy.
So at the end of the day, if you distill all the things that Ken and I just said down into one word, it's intentionality. You can't screw up intentionality with your kids, right? Be present with them. Think through it. Let them see your budget. Let them see the fun and the smiles and the frustrations with budgets. Make them be grateful. Teach them gratitude. I guess you can't make them be grateful. Teach them gratitude.